back to another episode of Revealing Biblical Truths. Today we are going to go into the book of Exodus, also called Shemot in Hebrew, meaning the names, and we are going through chapters 1 to 3. This content covers the birth of Moshe, the burning bush, and the name of Yah revealed. And as always, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and comment down below if you have any insights on these chapters. So Exodus 1 starts off, and Yosef and all his brothers die. The children of Israel multiply and become a great number. And there arose a king that did not know Yosef, and he conspired to limit their numbers, and make them weak by putting taskmasters over them. They built the cities of Pithom and Ramses, as shown here on the map. He told the Hebrew midwives called Shiphrah and Puah to kill all the male children, but to save the female children. They refused and told Pharaoh that the Hebrew women were different and delivered without the midwives. Pharaoh finally tells them to throw the males into the river, and that ends chapter 1. In chapter 2, we see a man called Amram who took a wife called Jochebed, and they had a son, and she hid him for 3 months. After he could not be hidden anymore, she put him in an ark and put it in the river. Well, Pharaoh's daughter found the ark, and her maid got it out. And when the baby cried, Pharaoh's daughter had his mom nurse him until he was weaned. And then she called his name Moshe because she drew him out of the water. Moshe, spelled Mem, Shin, He, comes from the root word masha, meaning to draw. If we break apart the letters and their meanings, we see Mem, water, Shin, consume or destroy, and He, behold. So Moshe's name means, behold, the water destroys, which could relate to the Egyptians being destroyed through the Red Sea miracle. Well, one day Moshe was grown, and he witnessed one of his Hebrew brethren being beaten by the Egyptian. When no one was looking, Moshe killed him and then fled to Midyan. When he got to Midyan, he sat down by a well, the well of Reuel, also called Yithro, who had 7 daughters. They came to the well, and Moshe drew water for their flocks. Well, Reuel found out and brought him to stay with him, and then he gave him his daughter Zipporah to be his wife. And they had a son, and called his name Gershom, from the root word garash, meaning to cast out. This is because Moshe was cast out of Egypt. After some time, the king of Egypt died, and Yah remembered the covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that ends chapter 2. However, if we look in the back book of Jasher, chapter 77, we see a crazy story regarding Moshe. And afterward Moses went into the garden of Reuel, which was behind the house, and there he prayed to the Lord his God, who had done mighty wonders in his name, or for him. And it was that whilst he prayed, he looked opposite of him, and behold, a sapphire stick was placed in the ground, and was planted in the midst of the garden. And as he approached the stick, and he looked, and behold, the name of the Lord God of hosts was engraved thereon, written and developed upon the stick. And he read it, and stretched forth his hand, and he plucked it like a forest tree from the thicket, and the stick was in his hand. And this is the stick with which all the works of our God was performed, after he had created heaven and earth, and all the host of them, seas, rivers, and all their fishes. And when God had driven Adam from the Garden of Eden, he took the stick in his hand, and went and tilled the ground from which he was taken. And the stick came down to Noah, and was given to Shem and his descendants, until it came into the hand of Abraham the Hebrew. And when Abraham had given all he had to his son Isaac, he also gave him this stick. And when Jacob had fled to Padan Aram, he took it into his hand, and when he returned to his father, he had not left it behind him. And when he went down to Egypt, he took it into his hand, and gave it to Joseph, one of the portion of his brethren, for Jacob had taken it by force from his brother Esau. And after the death of Joseph, the nobles of Egypt came into the house of Joseph, and the stick came into the hand of Reuel the Midianite. And when he went out of Egypt, he took it into his hand, and planted it in his garden. And all the mighty men of the Canaanites tried to pluck it when they were endeavored to get Zipporah his daughter, but they were unsuccessful. So that stick remained planted in the garden of Reuel until he came who had a right to it, and took it. And when Reuel saw the stick in the hand of Moses, he wondered at it, and he gave him the daughter Zipporah for a wife. So this sapphire stick is from the throne of Yah and what Moshe used to do the miracles. This is also the origin of the sword and the stone legend. In chapter 3, Moshe was leading the flock of Yithro, and he came to Mount Horeb, and the angel of Yahuwah appeared to him in a burning bush. He told him to take off his sandals, because the place where he stood was holy ground. But who is this angel? As the story continues, the angel says, I am the Elohim of your father, of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob. So this messenger was Elohim, as in Yahuwah? That's what it says. I believe this is the pre-incarnate Yahusha appearing to him. He said, he has heard the affliction of the Israelites, and would deliver them into the promised land. He told Moshe he was sending him to Pharaoh to take them out. And Moshe asks him what his name is. He replies, I am that I am. But in Hebrew, it's Ayah Asher Ayah. He said that is his name forever. The word Ayah means to come to pass, but it is spelled Hey, Yod, Hey. And from Hebrew grammar, we know that Ha is a prefix meaning the. So literally he said, the Yah who is the Yah. So even in this verse, we see the name Yah being used as his name. Just as in Psalm 68:4 says, sing unto Elohim, sing praises to his name, extol him to the who rides on the clouds by Yah, his name, and rejoice before him. So his name is Yah, Yahuwah. And he continues by saying Moshe will lead them out, but not before Yah spoils the Egyptians and takes the Israelites out with wonders in a mighty hand. And that ends chapter 3. Next time on Revealing Biblical Truths, we'll start chapter 4, and Yah shows Moshe some pretty cool tricks. Until next time, Shalom.